something's gone very wrong in Call of Duty. The series that once prided itself on gritty, realistic military shooters is now parading around cartoon characters like Beavis and Butthead on the battlefield. And if you think that sounds like a bad joke, it's not. It's the reality of COD multiplayer right now. Fans are frustrated, competitors are circling, and Activision seems more focused on cross-promotion than the core identity that built the franchise. Before we dive in, a quick reminder, a lot of you watching right now aren't subscribed. Hitting that button not only helps us out, it also makes sure you won't miss our future deep dives into the biggest gaming stories. And trust me, what's happening with Call of Duty is a story you'll want to keep following. The skin controversy. It all started with something small, operator skins. Back in the day, COD flirted with fun crossovers, but they were at least semi-grounded. John McClane from Die Hard, Rambo, Judge Dredd, these characters might not be realistic, but they still felt like they belonged in COD's gritty world. But somewhere along the way, things spun out of control. Suddenly, you had anime crossovers with Attack on Titan. You had bizarre costumes like the infamous Levi cosplay outfit that players laughed at more than they used. And now, we've reached a new low. Beavis and Butthead, American Dad, even Seth Rogen and his fictional superhero duo, Bluntman and Chronic. These aren't just goofy skins. They're full-blown cartoon characters dropped into a game that still sells itself as a serious military shooter. The result? Tonal whiplash. Players who log in for a realistic combat experience now find themselves fighting alongside cel-shaded characters from MTV in the 90s. For many, this was the breaking point. COD feels less like a shooter and more like a circus. The Fortniteification of COD. To really understand why fans are upset, you have to compare COD to Fortnite. Fortnite thrives on wacky crossovers. It's built for it. Marvel superheroes, anime icons, cartoon mascots, they all fit in Fortnite's cartoon-style universe. COD is the opposite. It was built on grit, realism, and mature themes. Yet now, cel-shaded cartoon characters are running around on the same maps where gritty campaigns take place. And that creates a massive disconnect. The worst part? This shift isn't accidental. It's deliberate. Activision sees how much money Epic makes with Fortnite's crossovers and wants a piece of that pie. Short-term, it works. Skins sell for $20 minimum. But long-term, COD's identity is being chipped away. Fans don't want a Fortnite clone. They want Call of Duty. And this tension between what the franchise was and what Activision is trying to make it sits at the core of the outrage. The developer struggles. But cosmetics are only half the problem. Behind the scenes, COD's development cycle is in chaos. Traditionally, each studio had 3 years to develop their entry. Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer would take turns, ensuring consistent releases without burning teams out. That system is gone. Modern Warfare 3 felt like a rushed, recycled expansion, cobbled together from scraps of a canceled project. Now Treyarch and Raven are tasked with releasing Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 back-to-back, something that has never happened in COD history. 2 massive Black Ops games, developed at the same time by the same lead studio, with no breathing room. Fans immediately recognize the red flags. This isn't a bold new plan, it's a desperate move, and it shows. COD feels less like a polished military shooter, and more like a product being pushed out of the factory line. Year after year, no matter the cost. The rise of Battlefield 6. Meanwhile, the competition is smelling blood in the water. Battlefield 6 is on the horizon, and its developers are promising something COD fans have been begging for. Restraint. Skins that don't break immersion. A return to grounded realism. When you compare the two side by side, the contrast is striking. Battlefield matches look like gritty, chaotic war zones. Call of Duty matches? They look like a Cartoon Network crossover episode. Battlefield's recent betas have been praised for going back to basics. COD, meanwhile, is drowning in its own identity crisis, and players are noticing. Many longtime fans are already talking about jumping ship, microtransactions, and monetization. Of course, there's one big reason Activision keeps pushing these cartoon skins: money. Operator bundles cost around $20 minimum, sometimes even more. That's the floor, not the ceiling. Think about it. You're spending $20 on a skin in a game that will be replaced by a new entry next year. That investment evaporates instantly, yet people still buy them, and Activision knows it. In the short term, this strategy prints money, but the long-term effect is corrosive. COD feels less like a respected shooter and more like a storefront with guns attached. Even Microsoft, now owning Activision, is no doubt thrilled with the revenue. But the cost is COD's soul. The community backlash. Fans aren't staying silent. Reddit is full of side-by-side comparisons showing the gritty, grounded COD of the past next to today's rainbow-colored circus. Memes mock the series, calling it Clown of Duty. And while Activision has responded with statements like, "We're listening. We'll calibrate skins based on feedback," players aren't buying it. The language feels hollow, corporate speak, designed to calm outrage without actually changing direction. One fan joked, "They're calibrating Beavis's Cornholio mode." That about sums up the trust level right now. Fans don't believe Activision will backtrack because the money is too good. The identity crisis. This is what it all boils down to. Call of Duty no longer knows what it wants to be. Campaigns still push dark, political, mature storylines, gritty narratives about war and espionage. But multiplayer looks like Nickelodeon meets MTV. The clash is jarring, it breaks immersion, and it's leaving fans wondering, is Call of Duty still Call of Duty? Because here's the truth, you can't out-Fortnite Fortnite. COD's strength was always realism. If Activision keeps chasing Fortnite's cartoon crossover model, it risks alienating its core audience without ever winning Fortnite's. And that's a dangerous game to play. So where does that leave Call of Duty? Right now, it's at a crossroads. Does it double down on cartoon crossovers and risk losing its identity entirely? Or does it listen to fans and return to the gritty, grounded tone that made it a juggernaut in the first place? The answer isn't clear, but one thing is, COD can't keep pretending it's both. It can't sell itself as a serious military shooter while filling lobbies with cel-shaded MTV characters. That's a contradiction that will eventually break the franchise. But what do you think? Has Call of Duty already lost its soul, or is there still time to course correct? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear where you stand. And if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more gaming deep dives coming that you won't want to miss.